Alright guys, back here again with Dio's 2000 album, Magica. And, we just got through the 90s of his albums, and this time he went kind of back to his roots, but with a twist. And that was because this album here, Magica, is a concept album, which Dio has never had done before, at least with Black Sabbath, at least in his band, and never ended up doing, sadly. Originally, this album was supposed to be part of a trilogy of concept albums, but sadly, Ronnie James Dio would end up dying. And he was going to do those near the end of his career. Of course, he had two more albums after this, but he announced that Magica 2 and 3 a little bit later in his career, I think after the Heaven and Hell album that he did. But anyways, this album, it really did go back to the roots. Craig Goldie's back on guitar this time, which is a nice, refreshing change, and it's not so industrial. Really sounds like the classic Dio. And we'll just dive right into this here. There's a couple of just intro tracks and small little things like that. So Discovery is track 1. That is an intro track, so can't really say too much about that. Same with track 2, Magica Theme. Just kind of does its thing there. Then you get to track 3, which is maybe 3/4 of a song, maybe half a song, which I really like though. Lord of the Last Day, and the song ends up finishing later on as the final track of the album. I don't really know how I feel about that choice because it was kind of weird to me. I don't know. It just kind of cutting off there, and kind of fading away. I kind of wanted just the whole song in one instead of it being continued later on, but good song nonetheless. Track 4 here, Fever Dreams. Possibly my favorite track off this album. Craig Goldie's back, with those just super hooky riffs that he always has brought to the table, just like he did on Dream Evil. Another great track here, track number 5, Turn to Stone. Track 6, Feed My Head. Badass, heavy track. Really like the lyrics on that one. 7 and 8 are about the two kind of heroes of this story. Track 7, of course, Ariel, and track 8, Chalice, which, I'll go ahead and dive into the concept. It's kind of like a being of pure evil, going and trying to turn, the good into the pure darkness. Kind of a stereotypical type story, but it's told from a villainous perspective. Pretty cool. I mean, it's not my favorite concept album, or the most, in my opinion, not the most well thought out, elaborate concept album. Nothing on the scale of a King Diamond or a anything like that, but or a Queensryche, but still a good concept album. The songs are just really, really awesome on here. But yeah, Ariel and Chalice are awesome. And maybe the concept would have been more fleshed out over those, the sequels of albums. Maybe it would have ended up becoming one of the great concept album trilogies of all time. Who knows? Track number 9 is absolutely just incredible off here. Beautiful song, As Long As It's Not About Love, and it's got a awesome bass groove going along. Definitely another one of my favorite tracks on this album, which, and then track 10, Losing My Insanity, that's another really good one. Really cool lyrics on that. Then we've got the last kind of full song, which is Otherworld, which is a cool little ending actual song. I mean, of course, there are 2 more tracks after this, but we go back to kind of the intro. We have the Magica theme reprise, and then we have Lord of the Last Day reprise. So that just kind of finishes the Magica song and the Lord of the Last Day, which Lord of the Last Day, if you combine those two together, that's one of the best songs off the album. Same with, like I said, Fever Dreams, Turn to Stone, Feed My Head, and As Long As It's Not About Love. Those are the main ones off here, but this was a really refreshing album to listen to, after hearing the 90s ones. Not that I don't like the 90s ones, I've talked about my reviews, they're just different. But it was cool to see Dio go back to his roots, and this really sounds like an album that could be put out in the 80s from Dio. So, yeah, hell of an album. I hadn't listened to this thing in a long time, so when I got this CD in the mail, it was pretty cool. I really like the packaging on this storybook deal. Whoop. Drop my camera there. Kind of happens often on this channel, it seems. At least it did in the first episode or whatever. phone kind of propped up here. There we go. But anyways, yeah, cool packaging and all that in this album. Cool, like, and I have like the bonus edition where it comes with some live tracks. One studio track that was supposed to be on Magica 2 and 3 on that second disc. But yeah, next time we'll be covering Dio's, I believe, 2002 album, the second last. We're almost done here with this Dio journey. And again, we will be ranking these at the end once I review all these. So we're getting real close. Next up, we'll have Killing the Dragon, which came out in 2002, which also just kind of sounds like a classic Dio album that I'll get into. And then, of course, after that, we'll have Master of the Moon. But yeah, we're almost there. And thanks for watching this review of this awesome album.